One, something that I am actually very, very interested in. Possibly the Vita 2 is going to be on the market. Possibly, what, 2-3 years? Did you hear about this, guys?
Oh, yeah.
Briefly.
Okay. A few weeks back, I shit on the Portal. I shit on the Portal because it's not what I wanted. I want the Vita. The Vita or the PSP. Great little systems.
Yeah.
For back then, for what they did, the connectivity to the console, for the back and forth. You could play the game on your PS3 or your PS4, move the save files over to the handheld, go to work, take a break, play the game, keep going, go home, sync up, pick up where you left off. Like, dude, they were great, man. They were great for what they did. And
plus you can remote play back then too.
Yeah, and the Portal just doesn't really do that. It remote plays. It's beautiful. The controllers are great. It's not what I wanted.
It's not what a lot of us wanted, but you know, for me, it's something I needed and what I wanted. But I would rather have a Vita 2, PSP 3, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. I'd rather have that, but that was a good compromise for me. Not for everyone, but for me, definitely.
Ash, what do you think about this thing? If this rumor is true, what are your thoughts about this, the Vita 2?
Actually, I'd be pretty excited about something like that. The Vita, I'm like you. The PSP was amazing, an amazing console, small, portable. It had the ad hoc, so you could play against other people. You could play with other people. FIFA was a big game for me when I had that. Battlefront. Yeah,
that was fun.
So that was just a really, really fun, really big deal for me. And then the Vita came out, and it took it up another notch, right? The Vita is just so much better, such a great system. Now, don't get me wrong, this new toy that's out, it's pretty amazing, but it's more or less just a remote play device.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all it is.
Right. So the Vita gives you the remote play capability, but it also gives you games. I mean, Borderlands 2 is the addition of the Vita that I've got right now. For the longest time, I was a Borderlands junkie, right?
Yeah.
So
I love it.
So yeah, it's just a lot of fun. A lot of fun. You take it anywhere you want, and like I said, the ad hoc mode, you could play against other people. The remote play, it had a lot of capabilities.
Yeah.
So a second version of this coming out would be, I would be interested in it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I mean, especially if they build on the technology of the Portal. If they take the technology they've got with a Portal, you throw the Vita capabilities in it, and you've got a hit, really.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, I think one of the things that killed the Vita was the fact that they released it a little too early with because the PSP was only like 5 or something years old, and then the Vita came out, and honestly, I mean, the Vita is hands down probably the greatest handheld we've ever had. For the price. Okay. Because it used to be able to play, it still does, kind of, but it used to be able to play PS1 through 4 games. Mm-hmm. It used to have PS Now on it, so you had access to another 500-something games.
Yep.
Yeah, so you had access to PSP games as well. You had something called, like, PS1s or whatever, those little... It wasn't PS1 games. It was some kind of PSP, like, indie-style games that they offered that came with it. And then, of course, the Vita games itself. It had, like, 6 generations of PlayStation tied into one system, and you could remote play anywhere in the world.
Yeah. And you had Wi-Fi.
Yeah, yes, but it did not sell. And because the fact it did not sell... Sony dropped it immediately. It still has amazing games and everything, but it got dropped immediately, and that was it. They just dropped the ball. They didn't support it. They stopped supporting it. It sucks.
Yeah. Unfortunately, back in the day, I mean, Nintendo was dominating the handheld, the DS, right, or 3DS. I don't remember which one during that time period. DS. Dude, the DS took over. Like, as good, as awesome as the Vita was, you're right. It just didn't sell. It didn't stack up. Nintendo was just dominating. They were strong, dude. They failed, basically, right? Like, they failed, and
the PSP actually competed, though. It sold, like, I'd have to look it up, like 80 million or 90 million units or something.
Well, you got to imagine, I mean, Sony's such a big company, right? And
yeah.
Nintendo, like you said, Nintendo was running the handheld market for so long.
Oh, yeah. They still do.
Right. And so Sony throws a competitor out there. And like you said, also, the PSP was an amazing handheld system.
Yeah.
And so it kind of rocked the boat a little bit as far as the handheld market, at least the way I see it.
I think so. I think it kind of, like, Sony almost pushed Nintendo to go harder. You know, because
yeah, there you go.
They did. At least, and that's what they did. They went harder in the handheld market for the most part.
Did you say harder in the handheld? Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's what she said.
Man, but yeah, dude, the Vita, I mean, dude, it was an awesome device. It really was ahead of its time. And it sucks that they dropped it. There was no more support for it. I think that Sony was just throwing so much money at it too, trying to give it life, when they were supporting it, right? Like I think they were forcing like studios to kind of double up, because I remember like one of their big games was in Uncharted, Naughty Dog, and they were working on Uncharted stuff and probably The Last of Us. So they kind of had to split off, like, hey, you guys, this team over here, now you guys are Vita, and like they were kind of making these studios hit double time, I feel like. And I feel like it wasn't that good for like studios for them to split off, and you know what I mean, like
stretching them thin.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just in the long run, it was a good play to drop the Vita. It sucks, but I think maybe it was a good play for Sony to do that.
At that time, maybe.
Well, I'm excited for a new PSP2 or whatever. The third
Vita
Sony. I'm excited for it.
The V2?
I think with the sales of the Portal being sold out still, for the most part, I think that's why they're probably going to push another handheld. And obviously the handheld market is going strong because look at Switch.
Yeah, they're still going.
That's a good point. I agree with you on that. I think Sony jumping back out there and pushing another handheld, I think they're going to do well with this one.
Yeah.
What about the Steam project, though? I mean, that's out there. I hear it's doing very well.
I don't know if it's doing as well as people think it is, though. Because it's estimated to be like 3 million sales. Okay. That's not... I mean, for a PC market, that's great. For a gaming market and consoles where like majority of gamers lie is the console market, 3 million sales is not good. Like that's you cut ties and you stop. But like I said, that PC's a different story. So 3 million Steam Deck sales on a PC based platform, that's very well for a PC device.
Okay. It's expensive too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's very expensive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And the battery life is like garbage, and then the buttons are just okay. So it's not something I would ever invest in.
Yeah, I think they tried to put something out there to compete, but I mean Steam is a popular company. They've got a lot of great stuff out there, right? So maybe this is their way to try to compete, but I'm with you. I mean, it seems nice, but not for $500 or whatever they're going for right now. No, I wouldn't be able to do that. I might as well just get a PS5.
There you go.
I think it is time for Sony to jump back in. I mean, it's a good time, right? Like you guys said earlier. I mean, the handheld market is strong. Even someone like Valve found moderate success, I guess, here. Nintendo's still going strong with it. And Sony, I mean, they've got so many IPs, right? Like that they can work with, and especially if they... what's the word I'm looking for? If they were to stop making exclusives, I guess for the V2, I'm naming it the V2. If they stop making exclusive like that, like stop cutting studios in half and just take the same game, maybe scale it down, or kind of similar to what the Steam Deck does. I mean, I think that there's a market for that. Your PS5 on the go. You know what I mean? Like, well. And maybe you don't need the Wi-Fi. Don't need like the Portal does, because I mean Portal basically that's what it does. But if you don't need the internet, I think there's a market for that, because that's the one big thing that I dislike about the Portal. It has to be Wi-Fi. It has to be good Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Starbucks ain't gonna cut it.
Nah, man. Nah.
That's actually kind of what they did with the Vita. They're making Vita, PS3, and 4 games, all like they connected to each other. Like you could play one on PS3, you play it on PS4, and you could play it on the Vita all at the same time together and all that kind of stuff. And there's quite a few games like that. But yeah, no, it's a great concept because you just load up your save data. Your save data is already on the cloud for the most part. So you just drop it in your V2 and then boom, you're ready to go on the way out. I've been doing it for a while anyways. But yeah, I like it. I mean, you gotta use what you got, man.
Yeah. I'd like to see Sony push this through, but I'd like to see it a little bit bigger format. The Vita had, what was it, a 3.5-inch screen?
It's like 3.5, I think. Yeah.
Great for at that time, but I mean, in this day and age, everything's bigger. People want bigger. Now, I'm not talking Portal. I don't want to say that.
I'd say right? 6 inch. 6 inch is good.
There you go. 7 inches. Equivalent to the latest iPhone models and the latest Samsung models, the 5-6 inch screens and stuff. I'd like to see something like that. I mean, not too big for people with smaller hands, but still a decent screen where you can actually do stuff. No offense.
Don't take it.
I mean, like I said, the early comments about the Portal and the screen is I mean, it's gorgeous screen.
It's huge,
large,
too.
Right. It's a big. God. What is it? 8.5-inch screen.
It's 8 inches.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's what she said. Anyways, no, I'd like to see a Vita, a 4 to 5-inch screen easily. Something like I said, the size of a cell phone. Because I mean, 90% of the people you see out in public, what are they doing? Playing on their cell
phones. They got their phablet.
It's
not a phone, it's a tablet.
Exactly.
They got the tablet out.
Exactly. So I'd like to see Sony push through with this, and I'd like to see something a little bit bigger format, still have the capabilities that the Vita 1 have, but build on that and incorporate some of the technology that they put into the Portal. Like I said, the controls are great. The screen is gorgeous. Build on that, and I think you got a hit.
So, Menarm, you bought a Portal. You bought 2 of them?
Dude, I'm on the fence. I'm about to buy a second. I initially wanted to get 2, but I could only pre-order 1 per household. BS.
Put my name on it.
I didn't get 2.
Put my work.
But I'm about to get the second one right now. But yes, I do have a Portal.
How much do those things go for? The Portal?
They retail $199, but I mean, honestly, like the value, you can't really put a value on like everything that I've experienced with it. If I had to put a value, it's easily $300-400. The device is that beautiful.
Sony.
I mean,
don't listen to him. No, do not. No.
Well, you got to realize, besides like controllers, Sony takes a loss for like almost everything they sell. Yeah. When it comes to consoles, they're taking like $400-500 loss every console sold. Yeah. Their controllers are probably making a few bucks off of it, but like the Portal, they're definitely losing money on that thing because the screen itself, if I had to guess, the screen itself is easily $100-150. Plus, then you've got the $70 controller tied to it. So, I mean, like I said, if you had to put a value on it, I would say it's easily a $300-400 device. Yeah. They're selling it at a loss, of course, but the thing is awesome. I haven't had a problem yet. As long as your internet is running smooth, you never run into issues. The only, actually, I lied. The only issue I had, which I've never experienced this before, except for with the Portal.
What would that be?
When your PS5 is downloading something, your Portal takes a huge shit. Literally, like it has issues connecting. It just like it gets all choppy. Everything's bad. You probably lose connection. You just reconnect instantly. But once it's done downloading, boom, it's fine.
That's probably something that's coded in the PS5. You put a priority on downloading because you notice sometimes when you're downloading games and you go to play something else, and especially if it's an online game, you start seeing a little bit of the chop. I'm pretty sure the console, right? But I'm pretty sure the console is probably putting priority on that download to get that file down and get the install going. So you're probably seeing the same side effects on the Portal because you're trying to connect to it wirelessly.
But we never had that issue with the PS3 or 4 ever.
Well, you're not playing a Portal connecting to a PS3 or 4.
But the Vita and the PSP. But we never had an issue.
That's true. But it's probably running different technologies too.
Yeah. So that's technically the only issue I've ever had with it. Just make sure you're not downloading anything and it runs flawless. But if you start a download, you might as well just set it aside for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, however long it takes to download whatever it is you're downloading, because it becomes unplayable.
Oof. All right, so take what kind of like Ash said, let's take the Portal, let's build on it, let's call it the V2. What's the price point? What's the ideal price point that you think would be just perfect for the V2? That's what I'm calling it.
250. That's
250.
I mean, see, I'm saying 250, but you bundle it. You put, like you did with the Vita 1, you had a Borderlands 2 bundle with it, right? You get some DLC, some other stuff, costumes, things like that, but you have a full-blown game that you're promoting, right? So 250, you put a V2 out there and you find
the V2.
Whatever, the V2, and you find whatever is hot at the time, whatever game you're pushing, whatever that might be.
Spider-Man 3.
We're talking
Wolverine.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3. Put the Spider-Man trilogy on it.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
And you put that as, you don't necessarily put it as a download or put it as a card like the V1 took cards. You have it pre-installed on the device itself, and you bundle it, and you make it. You have a special edition that's Spider-Man colors, and then you have the standard edition because they're going to come out with 10 different colors. You know it. So, me personally, I think 250 is a decent price point for something like that. But I mean, with the markets and everything, prices are hiking this and that. I could see something between $250 and $300. But $250 to me is a fair price point for something like that.
Maybe because once you said 300, like that sounds more in line with what they would do. Like maybe 250
maybe
would be base.
It'd be 300 minimum.
Yeah. Maybe 250 is a pipe dream.
That'd be a few years after release.
After release,
when they drop the price and it's easier to make and it's cheaper.
So 300 is a fair even.
Yeah, 350 would be ideal for me.
I think so because it is. I think you mentioned it earlier. It's a PS5.
It's going to be a PS4 Pro and a 5 probably, somewhere around there.
I think with the technology, it would outperform a PS4 easily.
Yeah, I agree.
Easily.
Yeah.
With the new hardware and the technology that they're developing now, easily, way past the PS4.
Yeah, because supposedly they're working on the PS6. So I mean,
I'm sure they've already been working on it.
Yeah, so I would assume they would take parts from the PS5, or maybe not parts, but something equivalent, more or less,
right?
And then
build on that technology.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you said. Yep. No,
I did forget to mention another reason Vita died.
Oh, what would that be?
Their freaking memory card.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
The proprietary memory card.
Yes, the Sony only memory card, and it was expensive.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
Now you could find deals, and you could find eBay and stuff, and get like a really awesome card for kind of cheap, but that helped kill the system. The memory cards.
Weren't they like $100 for like 60 gigs or something like that? Like
it was like 64 gigs, and I got I paid like $70 for it or something.
And you got a steal actually.
Well, yeah. You go online, you can find them for cheaper, not cheap, but cheaper.
My thought on that. So, not to interrupt, but my thought on that is you're talking about selling these systems, and yes, Sony is taking a hit on these sales. They're making up for it in accessories.
Yes. No, I know.
The memory card. That's a prime example right there.
Yeah. Between game sales, the PS Plus, extra accessories, like you said, controllers, memory cards, stuff like that, that's where they make their money back after they just took a fat-ass loss. But the memory card, they would have to go to like micro SD cards, like a real micro SD card, not a Sony micro SD card and then freaking $50 for a terabyte or something. No. Or I don't even know how much that is.
The Sony cards, at least from what I saw, now I'm not the bargain hunter that you are, but a couple of those, the 64 gigs, the 128 gigs, they were just ridiculous. I mean, a 32 gig, I think, was the last one I priced was like $80 or $90 or something like that. That's why I never got one. It's ridiculous. It's just one of those things. It's like an SD card, a standard SD card. You can get a 64 gig SD card for what, $15?
Mm-hmm.
Or, I mean, you can find them really cheap.
I think you can get like cheaper and more, if that makes sense.
No, it does.
I want to say you get like 128 gigabyte for like $10.
Black Friday.
But in this day and age, 128 gigs doesn't, or excuse me, well, 128 gigs doesn't get you too much nowadays.
It's not going to get you anything. It's not even going to get you Final Fantasy 7 R2.
You just put your photos on it.
Yeah. No, you would need minimum 1 terabyte. Minimum.
They have those.
Yeah, I know. I know. That's what I'm saying. It's not that much, but anyways, they would have to go to a regular standard, like probably micro SD. If they want to go to a fat SD, that's fine. But they would have to go back to like the affordable one, not make the Sony only and be $100 for a damn expandable SD card. No, that is not going to work. You're going to fail again.
Yeah, even Nintendo on the Switch, they're going, I think, micro SDs.
Yeah, it's micro SD.
They learned.
It's cheap now.
Oh yeah. Ash's son has a Switch, and he had like a small SD card, and I'm like, dude, give me a few days. So I picked them up like I don't know, it's like 128 gigabytes like 5 years ago or 4 years ago. I paid like less than $10 for it. We popped it in, and he's got enough space to pretty much download every game that's on the store.
I will tell you, Walmart's got a 2 terabyte one for $15.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're cheap.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was like 1 terabyte. I think it's like $10, but they're cheap.
It's crazy,
and they need to go that route. Not a Sony only one. And like I said, market it for $50. Like, hell no, dude. That's why people freaking, they mod your crap. It's because they can't afford it.
Oh, yeah. Here, can you crack this for me, please? Thank you. Yeah, no doubt.
But the V2, if it happens,
V2.
I'm in, dude. I want it. I want it so bad.
I'm praying. I am so praying. I will fake addresses. I will buy 2 of them.
I have a work address.
Dude, yeah, you're like fucking 2 months too late or 3. I don't even know how long it came out.
I have a
like 4 months too late, bro.
Work address. I got you, fam.